Well, what it pays to change the quarterback, but the problem is still there, and that is Arthur Smith. No matter whether we won or lost, the problem will always be Arthur Smith. Because we've had this instance happen before. We come back off losing a game that we shouldn't have lost, and then we win pretty convincingly. But then next week, when we're going to be playing the Chicago Bears, things may change. But this week was a big thing for the Falcons, but it's still not in our hands when it comes to the playoff situation. Taylor Heinecke went 23 for 33, averaging 6.9 yards per throw, one touchdown, had a passer rating of 99.2. Bijan Robinson, oh my God, I'm in love with Bijan Robinson. Last week was terrible, and that was basically on the coach and offensive coordinator. Bijan had 12 carries. I would love to see still Bijan get some more carries, but it's also due down to the fact that he had a lot of receptions. Bijan had 22 carries for 72 yards. Tyler Algier had 9 carries for 69 yards, one touchdown. Tyler Algier is going to be our very good backup running back, and there's a good possibility that if we don't pay him, he could leave and be a star running back for somebody else's team. Cordell Patterson had 7 carries for 26 yards, and Taylor Heinecke had 2 carries for 10 yards. When it came to receiving, Bijan Robinson led the team in 7 catches. A running back led the team in catches. That's how you know the play calling is bad. When we have to keep checking it down to Bijan Robinson, but he still had 7 carries for 50 yards, which means he had over 120 scrimmage yards for today. But that is another reason why I'm saying Arthur Smith is a problem. Why is it coming down to Bijan Robinson getting a majority of the catches when we have guys like Pitts, when we guys have guys like London, even Johnny Smith, like Kadero Hodge, all these other guys could be getting some catches, but they're not. Bijan Robinson had 7 catches. The next best guy was Kyle Pitts with 3. This play calling needs to be better, and it just needs to be in an open position where we don't have to always check down to Bijan Robinson, and Bijan Robinson should not lead the team in catches. Even though I'm happy he did, it should not be the running back that leads the team in catches. Bijan, 7 catches, 50 yards. Pitts had 3 catches, 49 yards, 1 touchdown. Drake London had 3 catches, 39 yards. It took Drake London a couple of quarters to get involved. And then Jonathan Smith had 4 catches for 32 yards, and then Tyler Algier had 1 catch for 19 yards. In terms of the total team stats, we had 23 first downs, the Colts had 20. Total yardage, we outscored the Colts 406 yards to 262. We were averaging 6.3 yards per play, and the Colts were averaging 3.9 yards per play, and we had 29.24 minutes of possession. The Colts beat us in time of possession, but we still won the game, and the Colts had a possession of 30 minutes and 36 seconds. So, the Falcons did win this game, yes, 29-10, pretty convincingly. But there are some key factors I want to pick up on. One, I would love to have seen how this game would have went had Gardner Minshew had his number one target, who was out with concussion-like symptoms, and Michael Pittman Jr., because I'm pretty sure had he had Pittman Jr., things would have been a lot changed. If they had Zach Moss on this team instead of just Jonathan Taylor, things would have been different. Because even though Jonathan Taylor did get a touchdown, splitting the carries with Zach Moss, who's more of a speed type of running back, would have been bad for this Atlanta Falcons defense. And 3 is the most important one. I do not care if we win this game. I do still think at the end of the season, we need to get rid of Arthur Smith. Because like I said at the beginning of this video, we've had points where we've done this. We've lost games in a pretty bad way, come back winning convincingly, and then the next week it continues on. The Falcons are a hot and cold team, and it just doesn't need to change. We need to make a decision, and our decision needs to be that we need to get rid of Arthur Smith. Yes, I know, I understand. The Falcons won this game, and they look convincingly. Jessie Bates had another interception. We got pressure on Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew ended up throwing a pick. But still, the defensive coordinator needs to be interviewed for the head coaching position. I just want to get into that. The defensive coordinator is so good, and we brought him over from Saints last year. He is very good, and he needs to get a job interview for the Falcons, and I would probably say that we probably should put him as the head coach, because if he continues leading the defense the way it is, the Falcons are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But then that leaves one problem, the offense. And you know who leads the offense? Not the offensive coordinator. That is our coach, who's the offensive coach. That is Arthur Smith, and that is the reason why at the end of the season, no matter if the Falcons beat the Bears, no matter if the Falcons beat the Saints, Arthur Smith needs to be gone as the Falcons head coach.